again. Yes, I'm still alive. For those of you who are new, welcome. We're going to do a twin flame update. I'll wait for a few people to jump on and then we can get started. I've got my hot chocolate. Are we ready? Do we have our drink or do we finish it and we need to make another one? I was like, okay, what do I need to talk about with the twins? Now let me think. What are the downloads been? So I've got some notes. I had to just clam it together. You caught me off guard, people. 8 people. Good morning to those of you at the other side of the world. Big shout out to London, America, China, wherever you are, New Zealand, Australia. How are we all? Good morning. How are you? Hello, Shadow Moona. Hello, Phyllis. We're back again to do the update. So have we found any interesting information on YouTube? Hit me with it. Have we had anything that triggered us or enlightened us? Morning. Have we found some interesting information or disheartening information? From the United States, welcome. Morning, Martha. Okay, now depending on what wave of twin you are, and I listened to one reader, and I'm very cautious because look, we are very blessed to have readers on YouTube. Hello, Florida, welcome. Morning, Terry. We're very blessed to have readers on YouTube, but sometimes, look, I'm sure that I sound like an ass sometimes when I say certain things, and it's interesting to hear people's explanation of certain things, and I try and get the information for you guys, especially when you throw me off guard, and I'm like, I'm going to have to tune into that, or so always bear with me. I'll try and go away and do my research and meditate on it and come back with the information as clearly as possible. Try not to get triggered connected to the environment of the collective energy. And when I say that, I mean, try not to give your power away. Going through an ascension does mean that you have mass energy shifts and you're aware of it. You've been working with that energy, but don't let that define you. Yeah, well, you'll always find someone, Queen of Cups, who you directly relate to. And I think they're the... and look, that changes. I know another reader on here that describes that. Aluna has said that, where you will find that you directly connect in with a reader for a while. And then as you process and progress through that transition, you'll find someone who directly connects in and links with you. I'm always open to seeing and experiencing new energy. But it also does depend on your wave. Now, when we talk about the wave of twin you are, don't get cooped up in it too much. Because ultimately speaking, it's similar to a reading. Many readers will explain how your energy can shift in a moment. So you could have a mass block and that could really be hindering you from your path of, and it is divinely guided. So if, for example, you're hitting a block and you're really trying to, be in it, I'm trying to read as well. To be honest, you'll just take it to another level. Oh, thank you very much, Dolly. Look, you'll have times where you'll have a block. It's guided, okay? So don't get up too much in your head about it and go, oh my God, what am I doing? Because ultimately speaking, even that is part of your spiritual path. So try not to be too much in your head. When it comes to the planets, it's there for realization. It's there for realization. It's there for your awareness so that you can be prepared, but do not let it define you. It's a bit like saying it's raining. And I mean, I had a lovely friend called Mel, who I do still consider my friend. We haven't talked in many years, but, my friendships that I form, regardless of contact or no contact, they're always friendships. And I remember I was living with my mother and she would say, hello, Ashley. And she would say, oh, Yildiz, it's raining. Like, you need to get in the car. And I'm like, love, I'm wet. I can't, like, it's too late. I'm in it. And that's the mindset sometimes you need to take, that when you're in it, you're in it. But when you're out, be mindful and do what you can. So use your energy correctly. I am also mindful that some readers will only read from the perspective of union. And I'm trying to be mindful of that, because remember, energy is collective energy. So the waves of energy we will feel, be it you are a twin in union, a twin out of union, one working through it and in and out. I mean, union comes to self, and it's so hard to comprehend that. But that, again, don't get up in your mind about it, because that is something that actually comes about very naturally through the process of your spiritual path. And where you come to that is a natural progression of it. So don't get in your mind like, oh my gosh, I need to get to that energy. I have an opinion about that too, but we'll get to that too, Dolly. Okay, theoretically, be it you want to or you don't, it's divinely guided. Now, I can say all I like, what I want. I can also say what I'm sensing from, you know, the ultimate self. Now, wanting out is divinely guided. There's a reason for it, but also to not trigger masculines to prevent their spiritual growth. Some of that information is better given in a private reading. And that is so the collective of masculines, we are helping them through their spiritual path, because I have noticed I have not been. Now, who are we to say, and you could just imagine being a masculine. Could you imagine when you guys are going through a karmic cycle, if a masculine energy come up on here, they'd be like, hell to the no. I can tell you they're watching. That's what you've got to be mindful of. If your masculine suddenly has gone and looked at a YouTube account, and all these ranting females are going to town, could you imagine? I mean, they've suddenly decided that they're going to, you know, have a look at this. And we be all getting up here. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, feminine energies further down the road will come to a place where it's like you're blowing your nose with a tissue. In 1 minute, you'll be one energy. In another minute, you'll be another. To the point, you will release ego and you'll just be. And that's what I mean by coming to a place where you're releasing. It isn't you don't care. Hi, Chicago. It's very much you come to a place where you're very, I wouldn't even, humbled maybe. And some of these totems that have come through will explain that. It's a very calming, I wouldn't even call it a calming energy. It is definitely the death of ego. That's the only way I can describe it. I mean, you just imagine you've been in a major car accident and you're like, I'm battered, I'm bruised, I'm tired. And then you're looking at your 3D life and you're like, the tsunami's hit, shit looks like shit, let's just get real. And you've got to use your energy. I also came across a reader that, be it they do or don't do twin videos, there was a video connected to masculine and feminine energy. And I can't remember the reader, but I will put the link directly below because I found her. I was like, girl, if I could get on the phone to you, I would be like, I'm with you. Now, she's a Libran, and I will have to put the link directly below. And if you know her name, tell me, but I've listened to her a few times. And she was like bouncing back and forward, and she was saying, I'm definitely a masculine energy. And it was from a book connected to How to Get to I Do, I believe. And not that I think all feminines wish to get married, but the perspective from a psychologist's point of view in this video was both enlightening, amusing, and also had a great deal of compassion for the reader, because I could clearly see that she had a lot of pain, and I can relate being a Libran. And she was talking about the aspect of her energy being masculine. And directly speaking, when you think of it, she was discussing the aspects that if your energy is coming in and another person's energy is coming in and you guys are both masculine energy, Houston, we've got a problem, okay? Because who's the captain of the ship? Now, part of being a twin does mean that you are balancing those energies. And very much a lot of what's taught is that you're coming into a energy where you are yin and yang inside yourself. But then on the 3D, in traditional relationships, there's a masculine and a feminine. Now, a lot of these energies, we do need to look at the 3D. We live in the 3D, so I can't discount that, and I won't. That's not to say, yes, that we're not ascending and we're looking at things and we're changing paradigms. That is 100% relative. But we also can't discount the aspect, pretty much 6 degrees of separation, pretty much. So when you look at this, feminines for a long time through the union, the outer union, the get back out there and do a bit of purging and have a look in the mirror situation, you end up holding a lot of masculine energy. And I have noticed myself through my life, definitely a deep knowing that it was like from birth, I was very much looking for something and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And directly speaking, it's like you have this inner knowing of something bigger than you. And further down the track, you realize what it is, because you finally realize that you're not fitting into no mold, and that can be within relationships. And when you're with your twin, it's like this activation and awakening comes. So when you're with them, it's very different. And you've got to remember, they will feel that too. When they choose to own that as physically their position, and it's really the death of ego for feminine is very much necessary to allow and trust in that process, that's very much for them to decide. But when you're controlling it, it's a very masculine energy. So it's like you're pulling that energy, not believing in that energy. So the release of that ego actually lets the river flow naturally. So it's hard to do, because the belief in which you had when you were a child would have been, well, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, and I don't apply myself, you're being the hunter-gatherer. And as my girlfriend in New Zealand, so a big shout out, Angie, if you're listening, because she would say to me, Yildiz, you got your warrior princess on. And I'd be going, oh, I'll get my bam bam on. This was me working in the nursing industry. I always had a pen in my hair. She was like, you got your warrior princess on. The problem is, for many masculines, if they feel that they can't have their masculine power, then you're not allowing them to be a man. And that's just straight off the bat. I mean, you're basically saying to them, and look, there's two things. Are you letting them be a man, or are you believing they're not ready for that? If they're not ready for that, you are not aligned correctly. And your ego is saying, yes, but I can fix it. You're not supposed to. You need to trust that every person's spiritual path is for them, and trusting it. From childhood, being an empath, my path has very much been fix it. And I was speaking to my mum about this today, and I was like, literally, I now have a relationship with my family, but it's very different. It's very, very different. It's very, hello, I'm here. That's nice. Goodbye. That's because I'm letting them have their life, and I'm being respectful to their energy. There's ways you can use your energy, and there's ways you can protect your energy field. Now, again, I will name a few people I watch on YouTube. Daniel Bloom describes it as the source, okay? Now, as a twin, you have the source. Now, you will find there are energy vampires out there. So you'll be like, I'm so tired. Be careful who you're giving your energy to. You have a very dynamic energy. Now, away from masculine will not have that energy, nor will you. But when you replenish it, because you're getting your chakras aligned and you're getting your energy fields aligned, you need to be careful who you give that energy to. Now, you can then transfer it into your belief system, into your manifestation, especially with the Lionsgate portal coming up. You can really work on that. You need to be very careful about the balance of karma you're putting out as well. And I'll get into that in a minute. So just look at the aspects of what you have to bring to the table, and understand that when twins together, to manifest is huge. So again, I do need to start focusing on different waves of twins, but trying to relate it back to how you guys can use your power and get yourself grounded to have this forward motion in this connection. A lot of it is sometimes when you're very off balance, that's another reason union's not coming in. Your belief systems in yourself. Literally you will need to be Snow White's stepmother, okay? Like you got the mirror. Everything outside yourself is an aspect of manifestation. So when you're getting triggered by something around you, even away from your twin, it is an aspect of a mirroring effect inside of you. And I was having a conversation with my mother today, and she was saying to me, I was very angry at the man that sold me the car. And I told him how I felt about him. And I said, well, how did that make you feel? And she said, well, it made me feel very good. I said, but you didn't get anything out of it, did you? And she goes, well, no. Okay, what I was trying to say is karmic energies at the moment are going around. If you're angry at another person, why are you angry at yourself? Now, she bought herself a lemon of a car, so she's actually people come to that realization spiritually on their own. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. And half the time, the codependency is from divine feminine at times. 9 times out of 10, to be quite honest. And that's not intentionally that you even knew you were doing that. And I can actually say that myself very early on in the journey. Anywhere down to my family members, I could see the bigger picture of things because I had a lot of failings and, epic fails, hit and misses and, huge learning curves, so to speak. So I would try to help my family members avoid that process, my friends, my family members. But again, it was an aspect of control. And by releasing the ego, you understand that you're to let people learn their natural way without feeling that you're above them, because that's ego. So letting people discover things themselves, knowing when to actually speak, when to listen, and when to retreat back and allow nature to take its course. And very much we are going to be shown that you're going to get to the point where, we're going to have to release. Okay, Dal. Now, a lot of what's going on is we did the foundation work, right? So it's a bit like the scales. We did the foundation work. That's the base of the scales. And then we've got an internal, an external, and a higher self. Now, a lot of the totems that we've been seeing has been connected to ending of one chapter, starting of a new. But to decipher that, it's almost like you need to take a notepad with you and start paying attention to the signs around you. So a lot of us have been asking, okay, Yildiz, what's been happening with these bird totems? You know how many there are? Directly speaking with these bird totems, a lot of what is happening is mass transformation. So, when it comes down to, hi Rocky, when it comes down to eagles, if you see an eagle, you need to hold your head high. If you see a falcon, it's where you need to actually utilize your power. Owls, face your shadow. Hawk, open your awareness. Ravens, transformation and rebirth. Rooster, celebration. Okay, a lot of this is connected to liberation, air and earth, as above and below. So a lot of internal and external work. Internal, external, above and below. So it's like we are going through a mass transformation. Okay, the white birds, which is quite common of what I have been saying lately for the feminine and masculine. Now, it is, again, about the purity in it. But a lot of the masculines are going through the death of ego. They're also going through a stage where they're transforming physically and emotionally. There is peace connected to it, but they need to have that spiritual awakening. So a lot of what is coming up, yeah, well, the ravens are transformations and rebirth. So that can be a message that you're physically going through it, or it can directly be a collective, which I'm feeling it's a collective, because I think it's happening on both sides. Some twins have not been feeling each other's energy. Some twins, although they've been saying they're off the journey, they're still watching videos. And it's okay, because, you know, you just try not to put a label on it. We're putting things into boxes again. You can't. It's an energy. Deal with the energy. You get a good outcome. Try and box it, and it's again ego related, where we're trying to place in a format. It defies that. It's beyond that. Hummingbirds, faithfulness, owls, magic. Now, the birds are to do with the transformation. They are to do with an awakening process. We do need to think from the feminine's point of view. You think how long it's taken you to do the purging, the processing, the belief, the ins and outs of union, really taking on masculine energy. So feminines, do remember your feminine energy at the moment is very masculine, because you're having to go into warrior princess mode. You're tying up loose ends. Ultimately speaking, you'd love to say, hey, I'll hand the reins over to you, divine masculine. Come and take over, because I'm tired. But, you know, you're guided to do that, because you do need to do what you need to do to make sure that you're okay. Some of us have been seeing dogs as well, and there was a few people that I've given readings to, and they said that they've been seeing a lot of dogs. Now, don't outrule a dog as a totem, because again, it does have a message. So if you're walking and suddenly dogs are barking at you all the time, it might be something that's completely going over your head, yet universe is screaming at you. You need to get interconnected to actually hear these things of what universe is trying to tell you. It might be coming through your dreams. It might actually be coming through, as I said, when you're walking, or animals in dog form might be coming up to you quite regularly now. Now, this is connected to perseverance, playfulness, unconditional love, transformation, faithfulness, and loyalty. So if you're seeing this, you might not feel it on a level of a 3D nature, but that's not to say that can't transform into that. But you need to move through this energy before that transformation can come. There has been a lot of 666 sightings from numerology point of view. Now, with the 6 numbers, it is connected to masculine energy. It is a masculine energy, and there is a transformation happening with the masculine energy. Now, when you are seeing 555 and 777, that is stating that you are ready for this next chapter, that something is coming. The 7s have been seen quite frequently as well when I've been meditating on the twins. And it's saying to you that you're heading in the correct direction. But you need to use your awareness, and you need to use your energy and your knowledge correctly. Those two together are telling you that it is coming. Yeah, 711, 7755. I've been seeing 88s. They're all coming back again, okay? Because it's saying to you, you better get ready. You better get ready. Now, the Lionsgate portal is going to be super important, but you also need to balance your karma. Now, remember, all of us are saying, when is this karmic cycle going to end? Now, through August, it is quite large for communication and connections. A lot of you aren't going to see it coming. It's going to come out of left field. A lot of the things are happening behind the scene that you do not know. Yeah, well, from July onwards, look, how do I put it? I felt the energy to be very heavy during the retrograde. I've definitely been feeling under the pump and a bit blocked of late, but know fully that something is coming next week and that we do need to be prepared. So when I say to you, be prepared and get loose ends tied up, trust me, get loose ends tied up. I would rather be wrong, but I'm feeling you're going to need to have that time free. The cats are directly connected to the Lionsgate portal. I already wrote that one down. Now, you will be seeing cats, lions, numbers 888, 555, 111, 222, 777. You're going to be seeing it all. You need to be prepared for August, but it's moving from next month all the way through to August. Loose ends, are you ready? If your masculine turned up, would you be ready? Would you be able to give the connection time to do that secondary healing? Would you be able to have the time to feel that you're grounded and healed without those emotional blocks there? You know, a lot of us are saying, you know, I'm giving up, or I don't believe in this, and that's fine. But are you ready? So the 8s. Remember that with this information, with the 8s and the Lionsgate portal, how do I say it? You need to get ready for the next stage. There will be a next stage coming. Now that can be tower moments, and that can be on your side or masculine side. Have you been tying up your loose ends? And when I say that, anything that wasn't working during the retrograde last, where you've had to rejig it, and I know I've created new systems when it comes to the work, a new management plan connected to it. I've altered the way I live within the home, the way I deal with finances, the way I deal with my personal energy, purging, meditating, etc. So your general life as a collective. So, you know, what do you do to change those things that you feel physically aren't working? Now, if you're being an ostrich and you're putting your head in the sand, universe isn't going to let that happen. So extra tower moments will come to show you where you need to fix those situations, because it is external and internal going on at the minute. So internally, if you feel there's blocks, you'll have trigger points coming up. Some of the energy isn't yours, it will be masculines. Don't take that too personally. You also do need to be very mindful if you do have a twin who is with karmics, because there are karmic energies snooping at the minute, and that's a collective. Don't give it too much energy. Leave it where it lies, leave it where it belongs, because that's sort of their energy and their business. But be mindful of that so that you can white light yourself and protect yourself. Also, with these energies around the Lionsgate portal, you need to realize that it is a time of manifestation. With the Lionsgate portal, if you have been putting negative energy out there, it's actually going to come back. So if you feel that you are balancing karma, it is a time of balancing karmic energies. That can be within karmic relationships, that can be assessments of it, the aspects of integrity and loyalty. All of those things are going to come up into highlight. But your mindset, that seed you plant, is going to be ferocious. So be super careful with it. If you're putting that aspect of negative energy out there during that time, it's going to become problematic. So try and keep yourself very grounded. Try to not get triggered and put negativity out there, because it will come back to you. Now, the rabbits that everyone has been seeing, or those of you who have been seeing rabbits, it is connected to feminine energy, and it's the birth of new ideas. It is the rebirth of the feminine energy. And there's a transformation happening. There is more fertility during this time. So you need to be very careful with yourself if you're not wanting a child. I'll just put it that way, pretty much. As my certain person used to tell me, if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, buy a pram. Okay, now, the strength card to me is directly connected to divine feminine and masculine. And during the Lionsgate portal, it will be very relevant. It's about the duality between the two, but also the point where you're not using the ego to control, you're balancing your strength without the inner fear. So if you've done it, then you're going to be pretty much right. Any questions before I pull some cards? Now, when it comes to do you know your twin? Okay. How do you know your twin? they're the ones that you can't stop thinking of. It would be simpler to say that they're not. You will think about them constantly, which will be frustrating, be it of a positive or a negative way. It will be, yeah, very frustrating that way. Hi, Kim. How are you? Okay, so how do you guys feel you know your twin? Are you going soon? Okay, so you're on your way. I'm going to send you videos. You know that. I did put a video up earlier. Oh, I'm trying to block this person. Oh, bugger it, whatever. Don't worry, woman. I'll be sending you videos. I did put a thank you up on YouTube for all my lovely people that I just love unconditionally on YouTube. Don't worry, Kim, you're one of them. And I should mention Lauren. I forgot her. She'll slice my throat. It's okay. I love you, Lauren. Okay, so how do you know your twin? At times you'll come to a place you feel you don't know your twin. I'm just being honest. Okay, we're trying to do a reading, so you're welcome to join in. Oh, don't you worry. I'll be white lighting you, Kimberly. Kimberly. Okay, how do you know your twin? The problem is when you're unhinged, you're going to question that. So you need to not be unhinged when you're meditating on that situation. Usually they are a person that you will end up back with, depending on how long you've been on it in your journey. You will telepathically be synced in with them. When you are with them, your mindset will merge. You may have dreams in a sense of forward events, depending on how interconnected you are. And it'll be this very deep knowing. It's almost like the Rita Ora song, I pick my poison and it's you. Retrograde just really isn't working for me right now. So any other people that want to elaborate on how they know who their twin is? I mean, I could go into it for hours. You intuitively know. It's, how do I put it? If you're saying they're not your twin because they're making you shit yourself, they're your twin, okay? I just want to say. I feel really sorry for this guy. He doesn't even know where he is. Yeah, it is a magnetic effect. It's almost like you, how do I put it? You will be in a room and people will notice it without you even saying anything. That is the only way I can describe it. I mean, I've been in a restaurant with my twin and we weren't even sitting next to each other, and it was an on-off situation. I think I was pissed off at him at the night, but, you know, unconditional. Just put it out there. And I mean, there would have been 30 people at the table, and the waitress come up and she just looked at me and she looked at my twin and she said, "Are you together?" I had another person say to me, "Did you ever think that you picked the wrong person?" I was like, fuck. I hadn't really known anyone had noticed, so I just thought I was having a moment. Yeah. When you're unhinged though and you have not done the purging, okay, it's It's hard because you would like to run. And I mean, look at it. I mean, would masculine not like to just run away? Yes, masculine has been. But, you know, that's the funny thing. When you stop, it's almost like, you know, when you've gone through pain, depending on where you are in your journey and what has transpired for you in your journey, once you get to the point where you're getting over yourself, you know, because the whole Jen and Yilda's conversation of, look, spend no more than 5 minutes on an aspect that you're directly dealing with so you can snap yourself out. Welcome. And then you can come to a place where, you know, you're then tuning into where that past tense energy came from, okay? Yeah. So you'll get to a place where you will then be doing the purging and release it, and you'll just sit there and you will almost, and I'm honestly going to tell you this, you're going to be looking back and being so amused by this whole journey, and it will benefit you. You know, a lot of us that have gone through this for a very long time, they're probably the first wavers, you're looking at it and you're going, nah, what, was this all so that I could learn how to be by myself? No, okay, it's not, but you will find it amusing because you'll be in this belief aspect, okay, just at the level of belief, and you watching a situation transpire outside of yourself with your twin, you'll totally get why it's all happening, and you'll just be like, have fun. I mean, I was listening to, I got 99 Problems and a Bitch Ain't One, I mean, on the weekend, and I'm like, have fun, son. I'm just saying. You know, I'm trying to keep it real. We all have our own path. It is not our road to be telling the twin what they should and shouldn't be doing. It's their road. It's their life. Trust them. Respect them enough. Like, if that's what they want to do and that's where they're at, you need to trust that that's what they're doing, okay? And... and you know, that's not to say on my path, trust me, I am by no means a saint. I have made stupid decisions. I've been what you could deem as a victim in situations, but then hey, I really have I been, because if I vibrationally knew that these certain predicaments weren't completely vibrationally ready and I walked into, well, damn straight is it my fault. But that's spiritually where I was, so I'm forgiving myself for that, and, you know, forgiving and seeing the bigger picture. I mean, definitely feminine and masculine, when you're not aligned, it is not that the situation is wrong, and it's not that they've directly done something to you. Look beyond the 3D of karmic situations. There's a bigger picture happening, and you can see it, but you're choosing not to because you're blocking yourself by ego. What you're not seeing is the reality is, are you aligned correctly? If you're making a list, right, and I've said this to a few people, and you go, my twin needs to do this, I can guarantee you, if you get another piece of paper, you can literally correlate the two, and you guys need to do the same shit. I'm just saying, like, I've done that myself, and I'm like, Yildiz, you better get the toilet roll out. Just don't. Everything outside of you is a direct mirror for what you're not dealing with. We just need some tissues for our issues, I'm telling you right now. They're big issues, don't get me wrong. Okay, what part's lying? Queen of Cups, hit me with it, honey. I mean, I'm careful about what I share because I have the utmost of respect for my twin. Purging is yuck. But hey, I'm like, welcome. What you'll find is the whole way through your journey, you're protective of twin. You're respectful. I mean, they're a human being. You need to be. And it is your spiritual path on your journey, but it's bigger, okay? The purging has been heavy, but you will look at it later and you will be, do you know what? When you have that out, you are going to be so different. My dear friend mentioned to me that one instance doesn't define the entire relationship. I needed to hear that. Yes, it's very true. The energy on the 3D of what you're seeing does not define it, because you keep trying with your ex, but they're like, but honey, are you ready? Have you done all your purging? If we are having 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, and we've got blocks, we're not aligned correctly. You're taking that vibration into the situation. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that they're wrong. If they're vibrationally picking up on you, maybe not being quite ready because it's looking messy and shitty, then we're sending that frequency out and they're going to do something to remove us till we're vibrationally ready. And I know it, but then he manipulates it to make me feel like you're crazy for asking. You shouldn't have to ask. It should be an internal knowing. Yeah, that is happening at the moment, Michelle. Like I said, until the end of August, it's yucky. Remember what we spoke about privately, Queen of Cups, alignment. Okay. Have you dealt with the energy of childhood? Have you dealt with the energy? Okay, when we're running from situations, we're running from twin, we're actually running from ourselves. So I physically and spiritually chose that I was in my life no longer running. So I chose to commit to myself at this point in time, because I have spent a great deal of fucking time running to myself or seeking refuge in another human being. And physically speaking, I was very tired of feeling that a solution was inside a partnership. I felt very tired with not having enough courage to actually look after myself. Only you can answer that question. But you're still going to have those problems away from the relationship because the problems are from inside. So even if you were to have a karmic relationship or a soulmate relationship, the energy you're holding will be shown to you. It will come up in another relationship. So it's directly not about relationships. It always comes back to our relationships with ourselves. And that's a very hard thing to deal with, especially when we've had a very problematic childhood. To physically come to a place where we just go, do you know what, I'm not running anymore. I mean, I am getting out more. I'm getting myself grounded. I'm having faith in my higher self guiding me correctly. And when you're getting triggered and you're saying, where's the money coming from? Where's this? I don't even think about, am I going to be lonely? You get so tired, you have the death of ego. I'm like, I'm good. It's not, that's what I'm trying to say. It is not about working with him. When you're questioning him, you're questioning you. And I mean, Jan and I, she used to say to me, Yildiz, this isn't about him, this is about you. And I'd be like, no, yes, it is. When I say that, that's not to say that the person on the 3D isn't doing something to trigger you. How you deal with it and owning your power is crucial. If they are doing something to the degree where it's disrespecting and dishonoring you, yes, you should remove yourself, because you are then not respecting yourself. It's not to say you don't love the person or care for the person, but you have to love yourself first. You can't give to another person completely, and it directly reflects on an internal hurt they're having that has absolutely nothing to do with you, because they're needing to love themselves. So so for you to get up an ego and say, oh, it's about me, it's to choose to do what you feel is vibrationally correct for you. What you feel is correct for you at all times. We can have readings, but ultimately we have to live with the decisions. So it has to be something you feel comfortable with. I feel communication is incredibly important, but you need to come from a place of listening. You need to listen. and you need to receive the information, you need to meditate, and then you need to make your mind up. 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out's not good. But you need to discern between is truth being told. Twin energy is very different. It's a spiritual transformation. A lot needs to be in alignment connected. Yeah. Thanks, Dari. Again, I'm not giving my power away to the planets. I am going to be mindful in every moment. But a lot of it is the energies we display, every human being. Now, there's going to be excessive. Every human being has qualities of narcissism straight out the door. So for us to put it in a box as twins, you come into this situation spiritually and you come to a place where you would come in with the culture, and the card comes up. Religious factors. It's like a lot of your belief systems change when you have this awakening. So you could come in with a certain belief system, and against that grain, tarot might be like, nah, no deal. Spiritual path and a twin flame journey defies that. And it's not to say that the higher self and the spiritual ascension isn't all directly connected, but it comes from every color in the universe. It comes from every state, country. So it's a collective energy, and that is about breaking the paradigms down. It's breaking those, those patterns and those boxed off settings that we've had mindsets connected to. So if we're saying a person's never going to change, anyone can change if they want to. There's a catalyst. Be the catalyst. Hold your ground. If it's divinely and spiritually guided and there to purge, and you feel energetically you're not aligned, then yes, you will need to remove yourself so that that process can take its evolution and its change. And then you can release the ego of believing that you need to hold on to it, and it can take its natural course. I mean, you don't know what they've lived, of what you've experienced and heard you do. You're giving too much power to the karmic. The karmic has nothing to do with this. The karmic comes about due to an internal foot in the door, foot out the door theory. I'm telling you. Have you thought about a past tense person? Does it feel safer? Has that come up in your mind and you've gone, maybe I could go back to a 3D life? Maybe. How many of you have thought that while I have my vape? How many feminines or masculines have gone, I'll just go to that. That's why it's happening. Don't tell me I didn't tell you that. Your mindset is saying, I'm half in, I'm half out. I'm going to test you. Yes, I'm friggin' vaping. I'm testing, like, I don't know, do I jump in? Okay. Number one, unconditional love is what the situation is. So it's not you have to, it is so, okay? It is unconditional love. If you have your foot in the door and out the door, you don't need to verbalize that. That vibration is sending through. So your twin will not be matching your frequency. You'll be saying masculine hasn't evolved. Masculine's actually more evolved than feminine at the moment. And I can tell you that through readings. And it has highly surprised me. They are that intuitive that they even foresaw half of this shit happening. That's how intuitive they are. And I've had my light bulb moment of a download. It's like, no joke. They knew this was to happen, and they activated this energy change in feminine so that you could line up correctly. So I'm here and I'm doing all the work, and they don't even know what this is. And I know that They know what this is, trust me. They're just waiting for you to spiritually trust yourself. Purge because you're hurt. You've been in it. Depending on how long you've been in the journey, what you've had happen in your childhood, what you've had happen in your life. They are empaths, and when you directly connected with them, you saw each other's soul. So you knew what each other have been through. But Queen of Cups, they're going to be looking at you and they're going to be going, honey, you're hurt. You're hurt and you're running. And if you want to go, you can go. Okay? Why are you feeling gutted, Derry? Hit me with it. Low battery. How is that possible? I plugged it in. It's better bloody not cut off. I'll have to go in a minute. I'll have to be upgrading my phone because it's just not coping. Have a lovely day. Power of thought. Am I going to get to talk to you, Kim, or are you like, do you have to go? I will do a manifestation video tomorrow. Okay. I will go, and tomorrow I will come back and I will do questions and answers. Thank you for my followers. I'm almost at the 8. I'm like, spread the word, Big Bird. Share the videos around so that if you know another twin, money manifestation. Yes, I will be doing lots of different videos. Thank you, Giggle. Yeah, what you're doing is what your twin's doing. Just always remember that. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Goofy. That's okay, Michelle. I'm white lighting you. That's okay. Lots of changes. So try and keep grounded and just realize it's more in your control and divinely guided than you know. And I didn't even get to pull the cards, so I'll have to do it tomorrow. I will talk to you. Yeah, I'll talk to you too later. I'm going to be going about 11 o'clock. Well, it's 9:30 now, so I'll share the love. Oh, and Antonella, shit, I need a Greek call. Love and light, guys. I'll try and do another. I'll do the card reading tomorrow. No, it's okay, Derry. I'll have time. Let me just talk to Kim. Yes, it has been posted, and I did put some gifts in it for you, hon. But if it comes too late, tell me, and I'll give you a bit of the money back. Should be 6 days. Okay, bye, guys.